I think at some stage I'm going to have to sort out a new microphone or a microphone stand thing because this gets a bit awkward. I keep on bumping it, and it keeps on phasing out my arm on the bench as well, which is weird. But yeah, like that's beside the point. Yeah, I'm going to do this part two thing here, which is about writing code. Right, we did one the other day. I roughed out the basic idea for an app. I would call it an app. Again, it was going to be a web page that would help me learn Thai through eating food. So I thought I'd just bounce back into that for today and to see where we were with that. Because, the first test was quite interesting. We gave it some ideas of an app and it built something that really just wasn't quite, the point was it did work, didn't it? We went through that process. We asked some questions, built the thing up, and when at the first, I didn't think it would do that. It's actually building it the same canvas. Oh, I should show you what I'm doing. Well, let's just recap. Okay, so what I was trying to work out is like, okay, some people in our tribe are going to write some code. I know four of the guys in our current team, current gamers, they come from a code writing background. So they're already probably sort of very familiar with the code writing sort of functions of most of the modern code writing. I hadn't written code since 97, and that was on Visual Basic, I think was the last program I was on. So, where do you go from there? I said I was more the manager. I would take care of things. I was, running my own business. I employed people to write code. When I moved from there into, production or, into actual, the IT sector as a lead engineer, again, I'm not writing code. I'm telling people what needs to be done. And the only code I was doing is probably sort of modifying some Cisco code or something. Somebody's got the base code and it needs a modification. I don't write the original stuff. I paid somebody to do that, and then something needs fixing. I'd rather just jump in there and just make a line change because I knew what I was doing. But I'm not the code writer. It's not my responsibility. I just have to make sure the things work. That's the engineer. Anyway, getting back to that, let's flick over to the screen. So the point was, what do you do? Do you go into this thing he'll call? I think they got this thing called Codex. Right? And I quickly opened it up, and I'm going, okay. So first thing, I'm going to build a command line interface. It's this CLI thing. Then I can download the app. Try your IDE. I can't remember what that acronym stands for now. Okay, that's obviously some sort of interface that you're working with. Then join the Codex app waitlist, and then try your ID extension. It's again, would a normal person be diving down this little box here? Well, I suppose if they got something they need to be doing, but I think the average person is going to go, oh, no, sorry. And again, why am I focusing here on what do you call it, ChatGPT, as opposed to one of the others? Well, again, the ChatGPT still has me some leverage in a paid scenario. I'm still on a Plus account. I'm still on the what they call the $20 a month account, so I can actually do things without being restricted. So let's get it back to there. So we did the app. I've gone through a couple of iterations. Right, so we told it the English type we're using, right? So on. So we made, I think we've got three working screens. We have a front page, already established order. Right, so there was the order food like prototype. There we go, first living, breathing prototype. That's right, here we go. Right, so I thought, well, I didn't run up Codex yet, I'm writing code. So here's the question. How far can I go within the standard chat interface? The chat interface seems to support code writing, so how far can I go? So exactly, well, where do we go? I sort of said, this was her answer, of course. Sorry if I gentrify.
Short answer, we stay here for now. Codex comes later. Here's the clean mental model. Think of this stage like sketching your dream kitchen on a napkin before hiring builders. Right now, what we're doing in Canvas is design plus feel plus iteration. You click it, react to it, say that's annoying, and we reshape it instantly. This is exactly what this environment is good at. The whole point of Canvas was to let you edit and evolve code interactively without constant re-prompting the verge.
Obviously, we can continue. So, then we've got the app, we've got the basics. So I then gave it a whole string of things. I can probably start reading it here. I won't read the whole thing.
Okay. What's my opinion? I was impressed that you could do that within this chat system. That was a plus. Okay, did you follow the instructions? Well, to an extent. Where did we go wrong? Well, okay, there's no back to the main menu tab, like every app should have a go back to the main menu or to the front page. I can't see that anywhere on the front page. Right, when we get on to the second, choose a dish type. We've got 4 dishes. Right.
So you get the idea. I ran through and gave it a whole thing, just running. I couldn't do that now because the app has been changed. And the code section has been removed because she keeps on duplicating the code section in a different sub menu. Anyway, so I gave her a whole bunch of things. And then, of course, she did produce something which actually worked.
You've given exactly the kind of feedback that turns a toy mock-up into an actual app. The big catch is this. We're no longer testing can it exist, we're testing structure, navigation, and data logic, which is where the real bones live. I'm going to patch the prototype so it behaves more like a proper app, with a home path, a fuller category screen, distinct category pages, and clearer bilingual labeling.
Then she went on.
That was a very good test pass. And yes, I got all of it. You basically spotted the difference between a proof of concept and an actual usable app. The first version proved the engine could turn over. Your notes are about steering, dashboard, doors, and whether the wheels are attached. I've now patched the prototype in the canvas so it behaves much more like a real app. It has a home path, a fuller 12-category menu, a different background on the menu page.
So she did a whole bunch of stuff, and this is what I now understand. So I'm in a chat menu, and the chat menu now has a canvas. It's like a cut down version of Codex. It's all running within the GPT, which we're running with here. We're not actually in a separate, built application type building function. I've seen something similar in the framework for the Anthropic product. I was actually watching a video today. That's why I thought I'd jump back in and sort of see actually where does that start and finish and where does it kick off. Anyway, so we went and gave it a few more instructions. She then came back, tune in the page. And of course, this is, well, before we had to look at it, what did she say? Oh, that's right. She did have it got a little bit longer.
Page 2 is now a proper dispatch board, and all 12 category buttons open their own submenu pages instead of teleporting straight into a dish. So the structure is now home, dish types, category page, dish detail. The first 4 categories have working sample dish links. Pork dishes reuses pad krapau mu to prove the shared dish logic, and the remaining category pages are scaffolded with placeholder dish entries so the whole app shape is visible.
Okay, so we haven't got a full laid out thing, but they actually got something running. So let's scroll back up here into the canvas, and I believe this is what they call a canvas, which will then allow me to actually open it on the side. Sorry about my little talking thing. I'll see if I turn that off for the moment. Okay, so here we go. The whole app was, as I said before, it was to be, can I even get that edge? It's supposed to be resizable for a desktop as well, so you can use it on a desktop. We're going to open the menu. There we go. We've got some categories: rice dishes, noodles, soups, curries. It's got a nice little backdrop on there. Choose a dish type. If we click on rice dishes, there we go. We got rice dishes. We got pad krapau, khao pat gai, khao man gai, khao mu dang. Okay, khao soy gai. And more rye dishes. Okay, so we got that bit. So let's go back to the dish types. Noodles, okay, dish types, regional dishes, koi khao soy. Well, I said, then it's just making up as she's going along. I haven't given her any instructions about what dishes. She's actually just doing her own research that what would be, street food snacks? What have we got? Satay, kanom krok? Kanom krok? What is kanom krok? I don't know. But anyway, let's go back to the dish types, open the category so I can make sure that that's working. And it goes back in here. The hearing button still seems to work.
Fat Krapeomu.
This will have a different voice on it once it's finalised. But the question would be there. Okay, she's got some rice dishes. Okay, so it's actually subcategorised. It can actually be found through rice dishes plus, I think she said it was somewhere else. Pork dishes, I think. That krapau will also turn up in here as well. But that's part of the database function, I'm sure. Anyway, I don't want to carry it on too far. What I was just really showing is the fact that, there's a fair bit you can do in the canvas, which I think is something worth exploring. So, yeah, I think we're on our way to actually doing our first application. Not that I really thought that was really necessary, but I think in this whole, garage alchemy, I did talk to it about to Trolls about this particular application. He did want to see what it looked like when I finally produced something. So I think it's time to go and have a quick chat with him. I see him in the other channel, and we'll finish up here and we'll go and have a chat. Anyway, again, let's move it back into the finalized closing out screen. I've got a bit of an edit to do here. We will take this another step. Or then again, maybe we'll probably take a bit further tomorrow in tomorrow's live stream. I'm feeling very positive about that one. So this may already have a live stream edition for part 3. You never know when you find out. Anyway, if you're not subscribed, you probably won't even get a notification. So there you go. Hit that subscribe button and we'll see you next time. Oh, and don't forget, we do have a Patreon system as well. This is only a sub-channel of my main system. I'm a retired engineer living in Thailand. I left the workforce 10 years ago, and I'm not accountable to anybody. So I've got no idea what apps I should be building here in these, ChatGPT or any of these LLM systems. I'm just playing garage alchemy. I'm creating. This is what we should all be doing, just creating, okay? Peace out, guys, and have fun. Let's create something.